Imagine that beautiful, huge lot right next to your home where the new owner levels everything. Mature trees, lush lawns, rolling hills. Imagine years of excavation and construction next to your home where you and your family endure trucks, equipment, crews, noise, air pollutants 6 days a week from sun up to sundown. Imagine a 16-acre high school playground swarming with hundreds of students amidst whistles, shrill voices, and other noises, practicing, running, scrimmaging, and swimming 6 days a week under daylight and floodlights. Imagine that 16-acre oasis in the heart of our community, for decades embraced by tennis and golf fans alike, and equally adored by those who don't play, obliterated by Harvard-Westlake into oblivion forever. Just imagine.
I don't know if Mr. Commons wants to respond to that.
I'll simply say that I'm sorry that is your vision. It's not ours, and I understand the concerns, but I think that our imagination is of a robust partnership between the community and the school, and one that makes this gathering of people feel more like a community, not less.
So my name is Josh Rodine, and I have lived a block due north of the golf course for 7 years on Teesdale. This is private property that we've known something was going to happen with for quite some time. And as an alternative to it being developed into condominiums or something else, I'm quite pleased with what the school has proposed for the development. I think that the facilities are going to be more useful to the public in a lot of ways than they are now, notwithstanding some of the communal concerns. What I have heard repeatedly from my neighbors in various fora is that they are skeptical of the school's promises that are being made now. I don't believe that there is any reason to disbelieve what the school is telling us, but please do something to put the minds of my neighbors at ease.
I think that one of the things that we've done is to listen as best we can at the outset of this process, to communicate as fully as we can the promises we're making, to do so in public ways that are being televised, that are being recorded. At the community meetings that took place over the summer, there were many people who were taking photographs of our slides. We encouraged them to do that. There were many people who were recording the comments that we were making. We encouraged them to do that. We believe that these are promises that not only can we keep, but that we can exceed. We have a track record of doing that, as I mentioned earlier, when we went through a construction project, a major construction project at our middle school campus in Holmby Hills. There was neighbor concern about construction, concern about traffic, concern about noise, concern about ongoing problems created by the campus expansion that took place there. We have met every single concern and alleviated those concerns. And I don't believe you can find a neighbor at the middle school campus who doesn't believe that Harvard-Westlake has kept our promises. So we have a track record as an institution, and we intend to do more than keep our promises. We intend to continue to reach out, to continue to try to find ways to be partners, and to do what we've said publicly since 2013, to serve purposes beyond ourselves and to earn the trust of our neighbors.
All right. I'm going to call the next couple people to line up. Basil Hamadeh, David Berg, followed by Rich Liebenberg and Terry Austin. So please.
Okay, I apologize. I'm a little nervous. I was a high school gym teacher where school enrollment was typically 2,000 students. Harvard-Westlake has approximately only 900 students. Most all public and private schools have one football field with bleachers, one track, one gym with one basketball court. Harvard-Westlake wants including their already existing structures, 3 football-sized fields with empty bleachers, 2 tracks, 2 gyms with 4 basketball courts, and 2 Olympic-sized pools. It's egregious. Why do you need all that for your 250 students who will do their athletics? Never did we have trouble scheduling practices and games with our facilities, nor did anyone ever complain about practice before or after school. This plan takes away public golf and tennis from 15 to 20,000 young and old Angelenos a year. The most joyful and helpful activities in their lives, ones they look forward to each week. They say money can't buy happiness, but sports and green space most certainly does. Weddington Golf and Tennis could be gone from our community forever. They want to tear down our paradise and put up an elite private sports complex to
Thank
give
you.
their students access to sports and recreation, but not to us or our children. Thank you.
Thanks for your comment. I will simply say, of course, given that you are an educator, there's much that we agree on, and so I'll begin there, and thank you for what you clearly have done for children throughout your life and career. I have done the same, and my colleagues have done the same. What we see is the same as what you see in what sports can teach, in character, teamwork, a discovery of those purposes beyond oneself in sports. We have, I just want to give you the numbers. We have our 9th graders who are on the other campus will come and compete and practice in sports at the upper school campus. So the number is 1,000 students, give or take. And the number who are participating in sports is 800, 900 students who are participating in sports. We have over 80 teams that are practicing and competing. And we have felt for a very long time that our facilities are inadequate because what we're doing is putting practices one after the other so that the first practice starts at 3, the next practice starts at 5, and the next practice starts at 7 p.m. That means that students are getting home after dinner time. We give them plenty of homework. They're not getting time to spend with their families. They're not getting time to sleep. And so this, for us, is a way to serve those students' needs for balance. And as I've said in various ways, the last thing I'll say in response to your thoughtful comment is that we do hope that these amenities, these facilities, are going to be available to children and to residents of Studio City far beyond Harvard-Westlake. It's a public-private partnership. It is not restricted just to Harvard-Westlake.
Hi. This is not a carbon-neutral project. You will destroy old trees that sequester carbon, giving us breathable oxygen. Newly planted trees cannot make up this loss. You propose leveling the earth, uprooting grass, tree roots, birds, insects, disrupting our local ecosystem. We banned plastic bags, yet you propose 2 plastic fields, heat islands, emitting methane gas as they decompose. You propose to rip out the concrete tennis courts, to build new ones, a concrete gym, an underground concrete parking lot. All will increase the CO2 emissions, contribute to surface runoff that may cause soil erosion, water pollution, and valley fever. We will pay the price of the methane and carbon this development will emit. This will rip out the lungs and heart of Studio City for a handful of students. If we allow Harvard-Westlake to complete this plan, it will have devastating consequences on our kids' health and the air we breathe. We will not roll over. What is online is our future. Thank you.
Thank you for your concern for the environment. I've spoken to some of our environmental aspects of this project. I'd like to ask my colleague David Wheel to talk more in depth about our tree planting and some of the other environmental impacts and mitigation measures on this project.
Thank you for that comment, Adele. You mentioned a couple of topics. I do want to focus just for a minute on trees because I know how important it is and how often it's discussed in conversations in the community. I think what you will find, and we can certainly go at length in some of the detail, but what you'll find, I believe, is that through our proposed development, there is not going to be a loss of trees, a loss of tree canopy, a reduction in carbon sequestration. Quite the opposite, actually, that through the proposed planting, not only mitigating the trees that we are removing, which, by the way, are not even compliant with what is the city views as appropriate plantings for the area, but that we will have an environment that improves biodiversity on the site, increases shade and canopy opportunity to degrees that are not possible. The subject of carbon sequestration came up, and while it's very early in the analysis, of course, as Rick was mentioning on that timeline, we looked at what the existing tree components are as well as the number of trees that exist on the site, and compared that to what is likely to be, just on the subject of carbon sequestration, the capacity of the site on day one of the project opening. And that analysis, while preliminary, shows that the proposed development will sequester carbon at a rate 5 times that of the existing site. And that speaks to a lot of the site currently being developed with Mexican fan palms, which, given their nature, quite fibrous, are not particularly good at carbon sequestration as compared to more native and climate-appropriate species. So we certainly share in that concern about the removal of trees, but we believe that the site will end up in a better state biologically through the proposed project.
When the original committee was formed in July of 2000, because this property was going to be developed, I joined that committee to try to prevent that development because I didn't want 200 plus condos blocking views and taking away recreational space. And it's only now, almost 20 years later, that we have a plan proposed that will preserve and actually increase green space. And I think it's safe to say that no other developer, of all the ones that have come and gone over the years, would have created a plan like this that takes into account as much of what is important to Studio City as this one. And I think that this plan will really allow the property to continue to shine as a crown jewel in Studio City.
Good evening. My name is Basil Hamida. I've been a resident of Studio City for about 10 years. I actually live just a few blocks away on Bellingham between Valley Spring and Woodbridge, and I'll speak selfishly for myself and my family and my daughters. We now, if the design plans go through, which I hope they will, we wholeheartedly support the Harvard Westlake River Park design plans. We will be able to enjoy a tree-filled park with serene waters and places that we can get together as a family and as a community, something we don't have now. Number two, we will be able to enjoy walking to a beautiful park and enjoying family walks around the perimeter of the campus, something we don't have now. We'll be able to enjoy state-of-the-art athletic facilities, which we don't have now. For years, we've been getting inundated with knocks on the door regarding proposals for condominiums, for medical buildings, for general commercial space, something we've always opposed. I strongly believe this is going to benefit me and my family and my heirs for generations to come, and we support it, and we hope that you proceed.